There are a number of inspirational stories each and every May here at the Speedway. This year that includes Robert Wickens. The Canadian is here this month helping his team in a very different way as his road to recovery continues. No one shook up IndyCar at the start of 2018 quite like Robert Wickens. Winning pole at his first start.
You couldn't write that. I mean, just to get pole position, even to be in the Fast Six as a rookie.
And at Indy, leading his first laps before finishing ninth, claiming the prestigious Rookie of the Year honor.
This whole rookie season's been a bit of a whirlwind adventure, but hopefully we're just getting started.
But then came a visit to the historic Pocono Raceway.
All I knew is that I passed Pagano. For some reason, that was like very vivid to me that I passed Simon around the outside.
They also tried to.
From there, it remains a blur.
Wickens, oh, they're going to make contact. Big contact, car in the air. It's Robert Wickens that spins. Ryan Hunter-Reay was just underneath him. James Hinchcliffe involved. We have a major mess here exiting turn number 2 at the Pocono Raceway.
A crash at some 200 miles an hour. The impact registering over 200 Gs. Through it all, Wickens is airlifted to a local hospital with a fractured spine, a neck fracture, and broken bones in his legs, hands, right forearm, and ribs. Today, he remains in a wheelchair. Can't help but think back to that day, and specifically a conversation he had with the safety team who tended to him immediately after the accident.
What I can't understand to this day was I was fully conscious when
talking to him.
When they got to me, and they actually said it threw them for a loop because I was so calm and collected. There was no stress in my voice. You know, he said that like people will kind of like white wall it and come to a stop, and their heart rate will be racing. They'll have so much stress, they'll have a hard time speaking. He's like, but it's like talking like how you and I are right now. And they thought that, you know, maybe this is that 1 in a million where like somehow he's fine. Because the first question they asked me if I was okay, and I said, yeah, I think so.
Hey everybody.
Of course, he wasn't. At the hospital, he was placed in an induced coma for some 10 days with a couple of surgeries to stabilize his injury. But afterwards, one issue kept coming up.
You know, I had this one moment with my brother. Obviously, I always had a blanket on, and I couldn't feel my legs. And there was a point where, with the drugs and with everything else, I was feeling my legs, and I kept asking my brother, like, what is this? And then, like, Trevor was just like, Rob, those are your legs. And I was just like, oh, wow. You know, because I couldn't feel them, and with the drugs, I just didn't think I had legs anymore.
Right.
And then that was kind of the turning point for me, where I was just like, how am I supposed to get better and walk again? I don't even know I have legs in the first place.
Yellow line, you can do it.
It set into motion a series of events. First, getting off the pain medication the best he could and begin an extensive rehab.
I'm riding the bike.
Progress of it posted on social media, all the while Robert beginning to ponder one very big goal.
You're a race car driver. This is all you've done.
Yep.
At what point do you say, I want to get back in a race car? What will it take to do that?
It was early. You know, I couldn't tell you if it was my third question or the first question, but it was definitely, you know,
it was up there.
How long is this recovery going to take type of thing. And getting back in a car was always on my radar. It's always what I want to do. It's still what I want to do.
Getting back to the racetrack has certainly been good medicine, and realizing that racing without the use of legs has been done before, most notably from former IndyCar champ Alex Zanardi.
Because we're in effectively a seated sport, you know, there's nothing stopping me from competing at hand controls. Obviously, regulation permitting.
Sure.
But, you know, there's always that light at the end of the tunnel that there's nothing stopping me from getting back into an IndyCar, even if my legs never come back. And that's been the big thing for me, is like, I will race again. I know I will.
And that's the push. Ideally, he returns with as much leg response as possible, but the support from his fiancée Carly Woods and everyone around the IndyCar community remains endless. The Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, set on making a comeback few have seen before.
I'm just so fortunate, one, to be alive. You know, two, my spinal cord wasn't severed when the surgeons basically gave us very little chance of the cord still being intact. And then three, I'm so fortunate that I'm getting the progress that I am, that I'm getting sensation back, that I'm getting some movement back below the point of injury. You know, there's so many things to be fortunate about.
Well, here's the inspiration. Because his story is so public out there, he's hearing from others with similar situations, similar injuries, and they're all thanking Robert for showing them that there is indeed a road to recovery. He says he's receiving messages almost every day.